Hey guys, I'm the Dream Envoy here, and welcome back to more of Let's Play Winds of Change. This is it. We have to make our choice. Do we side with Draku and allow Arenthia to stay the same? Or side with Vivian and let Arenthia change his ways? And before I make my decision, I have something that I want to confess. While I was thinking this, I've realized that I've been so concerned about thinking about the whole purity and corruption system because I know this is what's going to change. And I'm so used to the traditional idea that purity is good and corruption is evil. That's how I always think. That's how I've always thought. That's how I always thought of things, especially when it came to video games. But now, I'm not quite sure, because in Winds of Change, I have made decisions that I am absolutely sure are the right decisions. And I still get corruption. I mean, of course, I see shifts between purity and corruption, like when I'm having a very tough decision, but still, I'm just like, why is my corruption going up, even though that I made what I feel are the most moral choice, and even in the most obvious of situations where it's just so obvious to me that I'm making the correct moral choice, and yet my corruption goes off. That honestly confuses me. Like, it made me think, am I evil? Am I making wrong choices? But then when I look back and actually analyzed what choices I made and what increased and decreased, that's when I came to the realization that this isn't purity and corruption in the traditional sense. Rather, it's not that purity is good and corruption is evil. More so, it's purity is conservative, while corruption is more liberal. Like, I've noticed that the more I call for change, that I wanted to make things change for the better, my corruption goes up. But like when I want to prevent things from changing to the worse, and that I honestly think that things should stay the same, then my purity goes up. And that's when I really look at it and start thinking it and when I start thinking it that way, it makes me think, is purity and corruption really good and evil? Is corruption really that bad of a thing, at least in the context of this game? And like, if I notice, like, hold on, I'll bring up the save screen. Right now, my purity is at 30% and my corruption is at 30%. Since all the questions that affect my purity and corruption has been, had always been a measure of, had always come to a choice of, whether I wanted to keep things the same or if I wanted to, change things for what I perceive to be, whether it be for better or worse, it started to make me think, is this game just one great big test to see where I'm lined up on in a political scale? With purity representing me leaning towards more conservative, with corruption being more progressive or / liberal? If so, is it really good disguise? But, that would explain why purity and corruption are equal. Would that make me rather moderate? I mean, I know that I'm sort of am. Well, it's more complicated if you look at politics more as a compass rather than a political scale, but you know what I mean. And again, it makes me wonder, is corruption really that bad of a thing? And is purity that much of a good thing? So, like, going back here, I already knew what would increase my purity. I knew that keeping things staying the same would increase my purity, and having Aranthia change its ways for what I think is better would actually be, would increase my corruption. And again, that I really had to think about it because I was just so concerned about increasing my corruption too high and getting like a bad ending, but I'm like, that's wrong. I shouldn't have been concerned with that in the first place. I wanted to play as if I was actually put in this situation, and if I was in this situation, I would have had no idea about purity and corruption beyond of what the Triumvir said at the beginning of the game in that dream. Not the very beginning, but when we were at the tavern outside of Valinor. I needed to ignore that. I know this will increase my corruption, but I'm making this choice because I be damned, I think that going down the path of corruption might actually be the good choice. I want Alarenthia to change its ways. I take a deep breath before announcing my choice. We would help Vivian in exchange for the forces he could offer. We would defeat Draku and give this nation a new and bright future. But that meant we'd be fighting against Pro in the Colosseum. He so foolishly pledged his support, I had no idea how to react. Which is a shame because, again, I slightly prefer Pro over Ulrich, but then again, I don't really have strong ties to either of them. Because I never really had a heart-to-heart with them. I missed out on them. I never expected insubordination and borderline betrayal from this.
Our lives were on the line. I had to make the right choice. I'd rather live with Draku than sacrifice myself for Vivian. Ulrich has the wrong idea. What he's doing is suicide.
Everybody starts to part ways, but the doors remain locked. People try to open them, but Draku quickly makes them stop.
None of you shall leave. I wouldn't want you running away.
He claps his hands and a bunch of servants approach him.
Private quarters will be arranged for those involved in the fight. Tomorrow morning, you will all be escorted to the Colosseum. For tonight, enjoy the ball. I think you'll find it quite exquisite.
Thank you. Troop morale has risen by 5%. I would have thought that it was kind of drop because of infighting, but whatever. After that, everybody goes back to enjoying the festivities. Regardless of our allegiance, we all gather up in the center of the room. I never expected that this chain of events would get so complicated. And Draku handled it in such a calm manner too. It's almost as if he was confident in his ability to win. Uncertainty, confusion, and fright soon filled my mind. He played us. He provoked Pro into pledging his loyalty. At that point, it was already too late. Pro made up his mind. Sorry, Pro. Unknowingly, we all became pawns in the fight for Larenthia's future. I should probably roam around the ball until it's time to rest. I could feel out the situation and get feedback from my comrades. That would be key to helping me sort this ongoing mess in my mind. Achievement unlocked, tradition or transgression. Well, I'm automatically interested. I mean, Pro and Ulrich are obviously going to interact with each other, but I'm first choice is actually going to talk to Pro, who is turning against me.
Hey.
What are your thoughts on what just happened? My only option.
I think you sided against me. In the future, I'll remember that. I thought we were friends, you know?
We are friends! It's just that I value the well-being of... I'm not going to, I'm not going to let a country... I want to condemn a country just to maintain our friendship. Besides, we're not really friends. We hardly talk.
When the fighting starts, I won't hold back. I just want to be on Draku's good side, you know? If he ends up winning, I still want to form an alliance. But if Vivian wins? Well, I don't know. That means either myself or Draku would be dead. I'm not going to think about that. Let's go check out the ball.
Pro, I do not want you to be dead. You are an alcoholic novelist, and I love that. Like, you're a novelist, right? And a gambler, but still. Like, I really, really wanted to get along with you. I just never gotten the opportunity, and that's the thing. That's the unfortunate truth about real life, is that sometimes you encounter people that you know or just have a strong feeling that you would get along with, but you just never had the opportunity to actually get to know that person. It's just the way life goes for me. No other options, huh? Bro? Or rather, Ulrich? Sorry.
Hey. I'm grateful for your support. I really am. I've always told you how much I want to change this place. And now I'm getting the chance. This almost feels like a dream. I'm not a fan of what Pro did, though. I hate to say this, but I'm prepared to kill him. If I see an opening, I have to take it, Monarch.
Do we have to kill Pro? I mean, can't we just gang up on Draku?
I think I need a few drinks after all of this. Truth be told, I'm still a little confused about everything. But I assume that confusion will wane when the battle starts.
Please don't get a hangover when dawn breaks and we actually have to battle.
I'm going to go check out the rest of the castle. I'll see you around. Remember, party responsibly.
Very well. What do they have to say to each other?
Pro, what do you think you're doing? I had a plan, and now you've ruined everything.
Sorry, Ulrich. It just made sense. This is a fight to the death, right? Draku has never lost. I had to do it.
I had everything under control.
It's not your job to control everything. You need to get that through your thick skull.
Jesus Christ. And these two seem like good friends. Wait. Hold on. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that my microphone was working and we don't have the incident again like we did in episode 25.
You're going to regret this.
But like, Jesus Christ, I don't like seeing this.
Regret? I can live with that. It's better than dying for nothing. Draku has killed stronger men than you. I don't think he's going to lose this battle. That's why I want to be on his good side.
Well, my antivirus just popped up at the worst moment. I thought that my antivirus had this game listed under, you know, no pop-ups while this game is running. And I've actually never received a pop-up from them in a long time. And yet, right in the middle of playing. Well, that's just great. But still, Pro... I mean, like, I know that I was going to go as Draku, but... And that was only because I didn't realize that I would be throwing away Elorinthia's future.
So you're just going to suck up to him? Get out of my sight, Pro. You're pitiful.
Right now, yes. God, Pro, I hope that's just an act. For them?
I'm glad you sided with Ulrich and Vivian. It's important to change this nation for the better. I just wish Pro didn't have to open his big mouth. There's a very real chance that he'll die tomorrow. We've seen Ulrich fight. I think he'll win this battle. I just hope it's Draku that falls, not Pro.
Yeah, I'm with you, Fortem.
That sounds like a horrible thing to say, I know. But we've all grown so close since we met at Peregrino. I'm scared this clash of ideals will tear our bonds apart.
I mean, no, me and Pro are not really that close. But I don't want him to die either.
I need to get my mind off that or I'll go crazy. If you need me, I'll be in the ballroom down the hall. I heard they have a live band, and I love music.
Me too.
Hey, Draku?
Yes?
This is a really nice castle you've got here.
Thank you.
I was admiring it from the outside. I noticed it's built in a really interesting way. It's pretty bumpy. Lots of places for footholds.
Footholds?
Yeah, like places to rest your feet. I was actually going to ask you about that. Was it built that way intentionally? For climbing?
I most certainly hope not. Cause that would be, because then you can climb, then invaders could climb all the way to the top and, just attack.
Every ruler adds to this castle in their own way. I've been in power for several decades by now. You're the only one who's ever noticed my addition.
Draku, why did you do that?
You made it that way? Does that mean you like to climb too?
Your enemies could also climb up it. I mean, I know that you've never been overthrown, but still.
Yes, it does. That's how I start my day. There's no workout quite like it.
Huh. That's actually kind of funny. Fortem just going on about how he hopes that Draku could die, and then suddenly connecting with him. That's actually pretty hilarious.
Do you use some special equipment? I got some metallic claw-like things in Museo.
I have no use for such things. I prefer to go it alone, without safety. It makes you think about every little move. One accident and you fall to your death. You don't need those claws. Just climb smarter. A handicap takes away your sense of achievement.
I think I'll need them, actually. I'm planning to climb the Grand Tree in Valenorth. If you saw it, you'd understand the necessity.
The Grand Tree. Does it live up to its namesake?
Yeah, it does. It's probably the ultimate challenge. It overlooks the entire world, you know?
Interesting. Very interesting. Perhaps I should pay Valenorth a visit one day. I never thought the mainland could provide me with a challenge.
Oh, it can. Trust me. I've been climbing my entire life. Want to hear about more fun places?
I can spare some time, yeah.
That's surprising. That's actually kind of surprising. Fortem is against Draku, but can still have some civility between them. That's actually surprisingly nice.
We believe you made the wrong choice, Monarch.
Yeah.
Draku has yet to lose any fights in the Colosseum. This fight doesn't appear to be any different.
Uh-huh.
The strength he could have offered was incredible too, but instead you decided to choose the weaker man. Ideals aside, choosing weakness makes no sense.
Ha 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 ha. That would be the sound resonating from your cheek if we ever known each other in real life. Okay, I actually have more, I immediately have more self-control than that, but oh my god. I hate you. Not as much as Shane, but I hate you.
Who cares about a changed Alarinthia if we lose the war? We could give Vivian what he wants, and then march to our deaths. Strength is what wins wars, not the desire for change, and not hope.
You don't think in the long terms, Hal.
We will be exploring the castle if you need us. The ballroom is our next stop, so we can meet there. In the meantime, enjoy this ball as much as you can.
In the meantime, how about I let you know that I only keep you on this team because you give us a little bit of lore. And that if you didn't provide that... I wonder how people would think if I just chopped off Salus's head right here, right now. Like, you know, bury you again. Oh, at least the ballroom is nice. Though I'm a little bit sour after talking to Howl. When I entered the ballroom, I noticed my comrades scattered about. They're all enjoying themselves and having the time of their lives. Draku spared no expense. This was fancier than anything I've ever seen. There's a live band, playing the music that's pleasant to the ear. Couples sway about on the dance floor while others feast on a buffet. An open bar attracts many patrons. There's something for everyone here. My comrades notice me and give me smiles as they enjoy the party. Probably with the exception of Pro and Howl? As I'm about to step forward, someone bumps into me from behind. It was clearly on purpose to grab my attention. I quickly turn around.
I hope you're prepared to fight, Monarch. You'll be among the soldiers during tomorrow's fight. Regardless of your allegiance, I'm excited to see your abilities.
Huh. Thanks. You do know that you're my primary target, right?
I would be honored to know that you gave it your all. Either way, I thought it would be best to come meet you here. You're a guest in my castle, not a prisoner as it may have seemed. It's just tradition for challenges. They're mostly issued at the castle. It ensures that the people involved in the fight can't back out. We take these battles very seriously, as you could tell.
I nod. That much was clear.
I hope we haven't issued any offense.
Of course not. Everything is fine. You can keep me as long as you want. What the... You can code it anyway you want. We're still prisoners. It is what it is. Let's move on.
You accept your fate. That is admirable. I wish you best of luck in the future, Monarch. If you'll excuse me, I believe we have a party to enjoy.
He walks into the ballroom and is quickly crowded by people. Greeting every single one, he ensures that they're all happy. You know, I was thinking about the aggressive option. Saying that we're still prisoners. But... Greeting every single one, he ensures that they're all happy. He's very charismatic. Everyone painted him as a savage man. I noticed Dominic and Valessa standing off to the side. They don't seem overly interested in joining the party. I didn't get their input yet, so maybe I should approach them. I take a few steps forward, as not to block the entrance to the ballroom. The music gets louder and the reverberation, fills the grand room. Sometimes I cannot read. The sight and sound combine to make an utterly beautiful experience. I tried my best to enjoy this before returning to my private quarters. When I was ready to sleep, and then fight, that's where I'd go. I couldn't delay it forever, and I could occupy myself for a bit. Yeah. Enjoy ourselves as much as we can. And it looks like Helen has something. But let's hear them out. Ooh, hearts to hearts. I approached Valessa and watched her inspect the buffet table. It looks like she's having a hard time deciding what to eat. It's all free though, so I'd have some of everything. I would too in real life.
Why do they need to put alcohol in everything? These pastries would be fine on their own, you know. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
She fills a plate with a few random sweets. She fears that they're alcoholic in nature. Oh great, we're going to be drunk during the fight. That sounds fancy, but they're all just doused.
The locals are sure eating this stuff up, though. Call me old-fashioned, but food and drink should stay separate. If this is a delicacy around here, then Alarenthia isn't really my place.
Yeah, I'd agree. She smiles as she continues filling her plate.
But you gotta eat, right? This isn't the kind of place you want to go hungry.
Right.
I never thought I'd miss some of the food back in Valinor. But enough about that. Are you having a good time, Monarch? Aside from the whole Colosseum business, of course.
Yeah, Draco sure knows how to throw a party. He's much better now that I'm with you. I'd almost like to stay his prisoner forever. That third option.
I guess so. Could be better. Could be worse. I wonder if your coronation ceremony would have been like this. It's supposed to be a party of a lifetime. I'm sad we had to cancel it.
I think that my coronation ceremony would have been better because things aren't doused in liquid. And we're not being forced to, kill our friends. She smiles softly while eating the pastries on her plate. It isn't much longer until they're all gone. She must have been starving. I don't blame her. The journey here was taxing in every possible way.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. I talked to Alex a little more on the way here. You know, to learn a little bit more about our parents.
Okay.
Part of me was hoping to hear something positive. You know, like they were paragons of virtue or something. Thought maybe, just maybe, they were good people.
As she talks, the live band starts to play a bit louder. People flood to the dance floor with their partners. Valessa watches all the couples with a wide smile. Places her empty plate back on the table.
Sorry, the music kind of cut me off. Right. I was talking about our parents. I learned so much about them on the trip here.
Tell me everything, I'd love to hear. You know what? Might as well have some fun.
Wait, what? Monarch, I don't know how to dance. I just end up embarrassing the both of us.
Love amongst war! I was just trying to have fun. I shake my head and grab her hand. Slowly leading her to the dance floor, I take the initiative. I tell her that nobody here really knows how to dance, it's just fun.
Fun? Well, don't say I didn't warn you. They'll be teasing us about this for years to come. I can endure some teasing for you, though. You're worth it.
Aww. She blushes and I slowly guide her hands to the right position. Aww. I find you disagreeable in many ways, but you are so cute. One of my hands rests on her back, holding her close to my body. The other grips her hand and holds it outward, our fingers intertwined. We sway to side in time with music, and she laughs, embarrassed. As if to hide her blushing face, she presses her hand firmly against my body.
I guess this isn't so bad. So, you wanted to hear about our parents.
I nod and we continue to dance. I really have no idea what I'm doing. Looking at everybody else, I notice they all display the same footwork. It's carefully calculated so nobody bumps into each other as they dance. I mimic that and I wait for Valessa to speak.
Just a quick warning, it's not the best atmosphere for this story. I mean, talking about pirates doesn't exactly fill one with joy, but I think it's important to know more about our families.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was hoping to hear some good news. I always pictured our parents as these perfect, heroic people. But it turns out they really weren't. They were bad people, Monarch.
People are complicated.
I know pirates get involved in shady things, but they embraced it. Killing, stealing, smuggling, you name it. They were legends in Museo. They had a whole network operating for them while they were back home.
Oh, well, I knew they were criminals by calling them pirates, but man.
That's how they managed to have a presence in both nations at once. I went to Museo every month or so to inspect their operations in person. Explains how they managed to raise us and balance their double lives.
We continue to dance and I listen intently. Her grip on my hand becomes tighter and her body moves closer. I can tell she's getting more relaxed as confidence appears in her movements.
Maybe it's for the best that they passed on when they did. The village and Salus raised us. They gave us our sense of morals. I can't say I'd be too happy if I inherited the morals of our parents.
It's kind of awkward that the man who raised us is somebody I disagree with now. Well, disagreeing with him now simply because it's not Salus, it's a bunch of spirits possessing Salus, but still.
They could have dragged us into the life of piracy as we grew up, too. That would be dangerous. We could have died years ago, you know? If you died, then right now, the world would have no hope at all. So, maybe the occupation was meant to happen. It's guided us to where we are now. Shaped us into who we've become. If we let them shape us, then I have no idea where we'd be right now. It's so weird, since children usually aspire to be like their parents.
I don't.
But right now, I'm using them as a roadmap on what not to do.
Same.
All I can do is dedicate my life to being better people than them.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, my parents aren't dead, but I don't aspire to be like them. And I am using them as an example of what not to do. I'm just trying to be a better person than them. And I think even if you have good parents, strive to do better than your parents. Learn from your parents' mistakes. And if your parents have made like a ton of mistakes like mine did, just more to learn from.
Maybe that can undo some of the damage they've done. Because I know they tore families apart. They killed and robbed. Some would say that, in the end, being murdered was their justice. But I don't think death is a good form of justice. They should have gotten a chance to make up for their crimes. With them gone, I feel like it's our job to do what they couldn't.
You have an interesting view on the prison system, but okay.
So, that's something else I'm going to fight for. I'll make up for the damage our parents inflicted. I'll give the world peace, so no one has to feel pain.
Good for you, Valessa.
We'll make a world that doesn't need people like our parents. A world that treats everyone with unconditional love and equality. No one will have to live in poverty or turn to a life of crime.
That would be lovely, but how would you be able to achieve that? If you know a way to achieve that, I'd be more than happy to listen. Please, Glace, instead of putting this information in a game, why don't you take that information and, I don't know, present it to the UN or something?
Nobody deserves to be a victim of circumstance. To have their life determined by the world around them? No, it's not it at all. We shape the world, not the other way around.
That's something I disagree with entirely. She pulls her head back and looks up in the eyes as we sway. I mean, yes, we are changing the world and we're like trying to do it for the better. But to say that we're not a circumstance of the world, it's just something I disagree with.
So let's shape it into something beautiful. A place where no one has to resort to being evil. I'm sure our parents were introduced to it somehow.
If there was a way to do that, please let me know.
It's not like they woke up one day just wanting to be pirates.
Yeah.
Maybe it was their parents before them, or some close friends. I guess it doesn't matter, does it? We'll make the cycle end with us.
Yes, that's good. That's really good, but I mean, like, you can't destroy crimes and poverty altogether. Trust me, it would be nice, but it's just reality. Shit happens. And humans just seem... Trust me, I would love for humans to be cooperative to the point where they're more than happy that they would always help each other and never fight against each other. But I have absolutely no idea how one can possibly change the world like that. At least not a guaranteed way. And if there was, guess what? I wouldn't have to do that because chances are it would have already been done.
And we'll start a new cycle. One of peace, happiness, and prosperity. One where our children can live full, happy lives.
That's something to aim for. I'm saying that it's impossible, but it's something that just because it's impossible doesn't mean that it's something you shouldn't strive for. I smile at her and dip her low as the music comes to an end. Hold that pose for as long as I can, enjoying the sense of togetherness. Shortly after, I raise her back up and we leave the dance floor amongst the crowd.
When we get back to Museo, I want to see their old hideout. And I'd really like it if you'd come with me, Monarch. It'll give me a sense of closure. And let me move on.
Is it just me, or was dancing her like that a little bit too close for something that when we're, well, sort of just friends? But still.
I never thought I'd learn more about our parents in this journey. And I'm even more surprised that it's a truth I never expected. But if I could go back and never learn it, well, I wouldn't.
Good for you. I mean, I would rather learn and learn from it rather than live my life in complete ignorance and, hold cruel people on a pedestal.
It gives me the drive to become a better person. And it really makes me appreciate everything I have.
Yes.
Including you, Monarch. I could never do this alone.
Yeah, that too. She grabs both my hands and looked deep into my eyes.
Thank you for asking me to dance, by the way. I guess Draku's Grand Ball is a good spot for a first date. But maybe next time, we can go somewhere with better food.
First date? I was just going to dance with you as a friend, not a Well, this is awkward. She smiles and runs off doing her own thing. Sure, almost everybody saw us dance. There was no hiding it. But I'm glad that we did. I want to be with her, no matter the I regret this decision. Valesa's loyalty scene has been... Oh, no. Well... She's not my favorite character, but okay. Sure. It will be available after the completion of Act 4. Loyalty scenes can be initiating at Rebel HQ Ward Table. Oh, no. Oh, no. Okay, what about you, Domic? I walk over to Domic as he's standing alone in the corner of the ballroom. It looks a bit awkward, like he knows he doesn't fit in, but I don't blame him. With the story he told me last time, I knew a crowded ballroom floor would frighten him.
Hey there, Monarch. I hope you're having a good time. I mean, given the circumstances, of course. I can imagine it's hard to have fun when you know what's coming. Actually, forget I said that. I don't want to ruin your experience. I'm just airing my own grievances. Forgive my venting.
You can vent all you want around me. I always give my friends a space to vent. I tell them it's fine and then stand beside him. Together, we watch the patrons dance in the center of the room. They look like they're having the time of their lives. We just stand there.
You know, I've been thinking. I faced death back in Mazeo and I'll face it tomorrow. After that, I'll just go on to face it again when we attack Balteus. I could die tomorrow, or the next day, or the day after. So I keep asking myself, what should I do before I die? A lot comes to mind, but a few are very important to me.
Better take care of them as soon as you can then.
I want to go back to where it happened, Monarch. Back to the place where I spent the last moments with my mother. I've never been back there since I grabbed that pendant. I was scared. Just thinking about that place made it seem like it was happening all over again. I can't even imagine what would happen if I went back there for real, you know? It's easy to avoid since the town square is quite large, but I'm done avoiding things.
Huh.
I could have died back in those tunnels, Monarch. Something like that really puts things into perspective. If I die, I want to make sure I've lived life to the fullest.
That's a good point.
So that means there's a few things I'd like to do. Most importantly, I'd like to go back to where I lost my mother. I don't want that place to hold power over me. I want the power.
I get it. You're facing up to your promise. You want to, overcome your fears, and I strongly respect that.
You already know about some of my other fears too. But it'd be ill-mannered of me to request your help for those. So, about Mazeo, I'd just like a good friend to be by my side.
I'm more than happy to do that, dude. He blushes and shovels in place. It's clear that he meant his fear of physical contact. Yep. Dude, I want to hug you so much. But I know that you're afraid of that. I go help him with his Masio trip, but I stop to think about the rest.
Can you say something, Monarch? I don't know if I can handle such an awkward silence.
Of course, I'll help you once we get back to Mazio. I could help you sooner. I enjoy every moment we spend together, even the silent ones. Don't worry, Dominic. It can help you put all your fears to rest. I'm stuck between these two. Enjoy every moment we spend together, even the silent ones. Don't worry, Dominic, I can put all your fears to rest. I'll go with this one.
Well, then I'll stop trying to fill the gap so much. But I'd expect a lot of silence if you help me out in Mazeo. Once I go back to that spot, I have no idea how I'll react.
He smiles, almost like a weight was lifted from his shoulders. It would be important for him to enter the final battle with a clear mind. When we got back to the mainland, there was no reason not to help him.
Well, that's pretty much all I had to say. I'll let you get back to whatever you were doing, unless there's anything else you had to say before you go?
Not really. Have a wonderful evening. I have to. I just love this character so much. It would pain me if I just turn him down. And if he rejects me, so be it.
Oh, really? Did my talk about seizing the day inspire you? I mean, I guess I could keep you company. I don't have any other plans. And just in case it goes badly tomorrow, you deserve a really good night.
Yes, your talk about seizing the day did inspire me. He smiles as we walk around the ballroom together. It absolutely did inspire me. Yeah, like I said, even if you were to turn me down, I'd be fine with that. And when it comes to me having love or crushes for other, while it very rarely happens for me, when it does happen, I like to be completely open about it. Especially if we're like really close friends. I like to be open about my feelings, and holy shit, this is a fictional character, but I love him so much. Almost as much as I love my real crush. And if he's watching this, which I'm not sure if he is or not. If he is, hi. You already know that even though we'll never actually date, you know my feelings, and you know that I like to be sort of open when it comes to these things. So I'll be open with Dominic. We stop at the buffet table and inspect our potential options.
Alarinthian pastries? Are these any good? If you're seizing the day, then I guess I should too.
It's doused in alcohol. He grabs one of them and starts to eat it. After a few bites, he starts to cough and his eyes open wide. He wipes away crumbs that fall on his attire and blushes embarrassed.
Of course they're infused with alcohol. Somehow. Everything in this nation has some sort of a twist to it. You can never just get what you want in Alarinthia. Well, unless of course I'm talking about you. A fine place to have our first date, despite the circumstances. When you forget about the Colosseum nonsense, this isn't too bad.
2 dates at once! I'll be honest, between Valessa and Dominic, I'd choose Dominic. Sorry. Just a gay. I love both of them, although I do like Dominic's personality a bit more. It's not just because he's a guy, I legitimately do like his personality more. If people are wondering, I'm actually bisexual. It doesn't gender doesn't really matter to me, but I do love Dominic's personality.
If things go well, then maybe we can come back next year. People do that stuff, right? I mean, celebrate anniversaries. When you take the throne, you can travel wherever you want. And I'd be honored if you let me stand by your side. You know, I was always too scared to flirt or bond with anybody. But I guess a changed perspective is one benefit of a near-death experience.
You know, Dominic, I was the same way. Just about a year ago, but like I said, it's just some experiences that help you open up. For me, it was experiences with close friends. For you, it was dying.
If you could even call it near, I'm pretty sure I did die.
You did.
And if you want to know what scared me the most, nothing happened. When I was younger, they said I'd see my mother again in the afterlife.
Oh, well, it's so lovely to know what the afterlife is like. Wait a minute. Then what does that mean for Howl? Because Howl said that there was an afterlife. Now I'm starting to wonder.
That's kind of what kept me going. That thought made me happy. In fact, I even smiled in my final moments. I'd finally see her again. The world is a cruel place, though. And of course, nothing happened.
Well, that certainly makes me look forward to the inevitable.
Until I opened my eyes again and saw you and Howl. That changed something inside of me. My priorities shifted. The thought of seeing my mother again had completely disappeared. If I chased the future, I'd never enjoy the present. That's part of why I agreed to join you on this date, actually. I just wish I was able to realize this sooner, before the attack. The monarchy saved me by using their powers to heal me. I'll never waste the second chance they gave me. Never. I'll embrace it and savor every moment until the end.
You can't tell, but I'm nodding repeatedly. We continue chatting and spending time with one another. The events in the Rebel HQ finally made him a changed man. And it was good changes too. He's seizing the day, as it were. When we return to Mazio, I take him back to that fateful spot. But with me by his side, I think he'd be able to overcome his past. And when that happened, we build a new, happy future. Together. Domic's loyalty scene has been unlocked. I guess we can date 2 people then. Alright, that's the end of the Heart to Hearts. I'll just finish up these scenes and end the video. Call it a day.
Oh, this place is incredible. Draku sure knows how to throw a party. What about you, Ulrich? Having fun?
Draku was my enemy, Valessa. We're practically being held prisoner. Despite that, yeah, I'm having a good time.
I could tell, actually. How many drinks is that? 5? You don't want to fight with a hangover, do you?
That's my number one concern when you told me about the alcohol-infused food.
It wouldn't be the first time. I've taught myself to fight in any state of being. Just something you learn to do when you're as old as I am.
Do military personnel usually get trained to fight with while drunk?
And how old is that?
Old enough. Besides, I doubt I'll have much trouble tomorrow. Even if I fought Draku while drunk, I could take him down. So don't worry about my well-being. I've got this.
From my understanding, soldiers take care about fighting while drunk by not being drunk in the first place.
You can fight while you're drunk, too?
Of course. It actually makes things easier. Your movements are sloppy and unpredictable. That's all you need to confuse and overpower your opponent.
Huh.
Wow, I never thought of it that way. That's a pretty unique fighting style. You'll be sober tomorrow, though, right?
Depends on how tonight goes. Don't worry about me, I'll be fine. Just go and have a good time, alright?
Sure, please don't die, Ulrich.
Alright, if you say so. This is gonna be super interesting. 2 undefeated men, locked in combat.
Yeah, I'll make sure to put on a good show for you. It's like a sport. Everybody will be watching intently. You better cheer for me. I'll be listening, Valessa.
Sure.
Dominic and Pro, this should be interesting. So should for Tam and Howl.
So, Pro, are you having a good time?
Of course. All according to plan. I know Ulrich is mad, but he'll get over it. We can win this without either of us dying.
Yeah, just take out the leader, right? Ulrich is stubborn though, so be careful. I think he might actually try to kill you.
I've been watching him spar for years. I'll be fine. I know exactly how he operates. The best weapon is knowledge, right?
True.
You remembered my lessons.
Aw.
How could I forget? It'll help me win this battle. I know it. Make sure to cheer me on, alright?
I think I'd like to remain silent, actually. I can't be taking sides at a time like this. As long as we get an alliance, I'm happy.
Oh, come on. Not even gonna clap for me. I'll remember that when you give another speech.
I know where you align though, Dominic. How you were kind of leaning toward Vivian, but started to have some second thoughts when Howl talked to you.
I think my days of giving speeches are over, Pro. That honor belongs to the monarch now. But I'm sure they'd say the same as me.
Well, I love your speeches, Dominic. They're more inspiring than mine.
Man, I hate how neutral everybody is acting. Sometimes it's alright to take a side.
Well, it's not that I'm not taking a side. It's more like... I shouldn't gossip to you. You're a combatant. It'd affect your morale.
What an interesting way to tell me that you side with Ulrich. Sometimes not saying something tells me all I need to hear.
Oh!
Now you're just putting words in my mouth. The only person I tell is the monarch.
Interesting.
What?
You're not the first person to unconditionally trust the monarch. Perhaps I could use that to my advantage in the future.
Bro?
I think this is where I get back to the party. This whole scheming business isn't really for me, but I doubt the monarch would abuse their role for you.
I wouldn't.
You're probably right, Dominic. They'd have to do it without knowing. Just imagine the swindling I could do.
Bro, I'm starting to lose my respect for you.
Do we know how to throw parties or what?
Who do you mean by we?
Our people, like the pure ones. We're different civilizations, remember? Did the old monarchy party like this?
This line of questioning is pointless. Why do you wish to know such trivial information?
It's what friends do, Hal. Haven't you ever heard of hanging out? You just talk to each other about everything.
He wouldn't need to. They know everything.
Well, the old monarchy did party.
Huh?
And to be honest, there isn't much difference. Do you see this as a sort of competition?
Not exactly. Well, maybe? It's always cool to know you have the most fun. Do you not compare yourself to other people?
That would be a waste of time. There is no benefit in being like other people. We simply wish to be ourselves. Unique.
See? This is what friends do. They just talk. Keep going, Hal. Tell me what's on your mind. You don't need a specific topic or anything.
We would ask, why you consider us a friend? Does the world benefit from this conversation? Is there a purpose to this sort of interaction? Perhaps we should talk about the matter at hand. There is much to discuss about Vivian and Draku.
Well, aren't you an open book?
Nope, we can't talk about that. That's work stuff. We're here to unwind.
Yeah, like... Howl is just so single-minded, over-focused, pretty blunt. That's more or less why I don't like him.
Another concept we do not understand. Every moment we waste, the enemy gets stronger.
Oh my god. We cannot have a good time. Having a good time is waste of energy. We need to fight now. We must kill the enemy now. We must act now. We cannot afford to have fun. Fun ruins our chances of winning. We must be focused on winning no matter what. My god.
It's not a waste, though. If our bond grows stronger, then so do we. It's important to get along with your comrades, Howl.
Very well. We will try. This party is an interesting experience. Are you having a good time, Fortame?
Huh. I can tell you're not used to this.
There we go. Now you're doing it right. Just a few more steps and you'll be ready to dance.
We would rather die.
Hal, you're such an edgelord. Just Holland, and I think I'll end it here. This is pretty damn long video. Holland, Halen, whatever. While the bodies swayed on the dance floor, Halen and Shane did a dance of their own. Weapons clashing, they sparred. It was time for Halen to put his new apprentice to the test. So far, it seems like their skill was equally matched. A deadlock of the best variety.
You put up more of a fight than Sophie ever did. Where did you learn techniques like that, Shane? It almost feels like you're the teacher in this scenario.
You pick up a lot of stuff on the streets of Museo. Back when I was younger, it was either fight or die. A lot of the rebels are just like me, so get used to it.
Let me guess, you all banded together after the occupation. That means if I learn your weakness, I learn theirs. A weak strategy. All sharing the same fighting style?
Well, now I know why you wanted to spar so soon, and here I thought you might be warming up to me.
Don't flatter yourself, Shane.
Then stop giving me reasons to.
Their weapons clash again. Halen's sword with Shane's daggers. He had no problem being Halen's match with such small weapons. His agility and quick thinking was more than enough to counter his raw strength.
I guess Sophie wasn't much of a fighter.
He used to be, but I could tell he always held back. There was doubt in his mind, and it clouded his judgment. I trusted it would go away, but you know what happened next.
Yeah, and he's paying for his mistakes. But you can trust me, Halen. I won't let you down. Remember what I did when we were in Museo.
Yep, and it makes me want to wring your neck. You quickly turned heel and killed your leader in a matter of minutes.
You killed your former leader, your best friend. I don't need anything else from you, Shane. That proves your loyalty almost tenfold.
To change sides in a matter of seconds!
Good.
Shane sheaths his daggers, done with the sparring.
So what do you think Sophie will do next? I mean, he's no longer welcome in Balteus, right?
I saw him wandering the halls before he left. It's funny. He might actually try to seek out the blade. He was saying something about Alarinthia over and over.
What makes him think it'll be in Alarinthia?
I'm wondering the same thing.
Well, the rebellion will try its hardest to survive. After what we did, it makes sense that they'd flee the mainland. They can't come here, so the only other option is Alarinthia.
We went to Alarinthia to gain forces.
Makes sense when you put it that way. Maybe he can regain his honor after all. But I have to ask, why aren't we going?
I mean, we did not go to Alarinthia because we were running away. We went there so that we could reform.
The rebellion will come here eventually. We have the home advantage if we sit and wait. There's no way they can overpower our army.
That's smart. So we're really doing this. We're going to end the rebellion.
And any more that may come. I sense a bright future for us, Shane. And we'll do it all. For the Triumvirate!
Yeah, for the Triumvirate.